Nirjanjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Privajagacharya Shtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की श्रील प्रभुपाद की प्रभुपाद अनुगा की समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Gauri Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Some fans there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, text 5. Canto 6, chapter 14, text 5. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanaha sudurlabha prasantatma kotishvapi mahamune. Please repeat. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanaha Sudurlabha prasantatma Kotishvapi mahamune Muktanamapi siddhanam Narayana parayanaha Sudurlabha prasantatma Kotishvapi mahamune Muktanamapi siddhanam Narayana parayanaha Sudurlabha prasantatma Kotishvapi mahamune. Muktanam, of those who are liberated during this life, who are unattached to the bodily comforts of society, friendship and love. Api, even Siddhanam, who are perfect, because they understand the insignificance of bodily comforts. Narayana Parayanaha, a person who has concluded that Narayana is the supreme. Sudurlabha, very rarely found. Prashanta, fully pacified. Atma, whose mind, Kotishva, out of millions and trillions. Asterisk, it mentions the word Koti means 10 million. Its plural means millions and trillions. Anyway, Api, even Mahamuni, O great sage. Translation, O great sage among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation. One may be a devotee of Lord Narayana or Krishna. Such devotees who are fully peaceful are extremely rare. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Purport. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura gives the following purport to this verse. Simply desiring mukti or liberation is insufficient. One must become factually liberated. When one understands the futility of the materialistic way of life, one becomes advanced in knowledge. And therefore he situates himself in the Vanaprastha order, unattached to family, wife and children. One should then further progress to the platform of sannyasa, the actual renounced order, never to fall again and be afflicted by materialistic life. Even though one desires to be liberated, this does not mean he is liberated. Only rarely is someone liberated. Indeed, although many men take sannyasa to become liberated, because of their imperfections, they again become attached to women, material activities, social welfare, and so on. Jnanis, yogis, and karmis, devoid of devotional service, are called offenders. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi. One who thinks that everything is Maya instead of thinking that everything is Krishna is called an Aparadhi or offender. Although the Mayavadis, impersonalists, are offenders at the lotus feet of Krishna, they may nonetheless be counted among all the Siddhas, those who have realized the self. They may be considered nearer to spiritual perfection because at least they have realized what spiritual life is. If such a person becomes Narayana Parayana, a devotee of Lord Narayana, he is better than a Jivan Mukta, one who is liberated or perfect. This requires higher intelligence. There are two kinds of jnanis. One is inclined to devotional service and the other to impersonal realization. Impersonalists generally undergo great endeavor for no tangible benefit, and therefore it is said that they are husking paddy that has no grain. Stula tusha vaghatanam. The other class of jnanis, whose jnana is mixed with bhakti, are also of two kinds. Those who are devoted to the so-called false form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and those who understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Sachitananda Vigraha, the actual spiritual form. The Mayavadi devotees worship Narayana or Vishnu with the idea that Vishnu has accepted a form of Maya and that the ultimate truth is actually impersonal. The pure devotees, however, never think that Vishnu has accepted a body of Maya. Instead, he knows perfectly well that the original absolute truth is a Supreme Person. Such a devotee is actually situated in knowledge. He never merges in the Brahman effulgence as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32. Ye anye aravindaksha vimuktamanina tvayi ashtabhavad avishuddha buddhayah आरुह्य कृचिरेण परम पदम ततः पतन्ति अथो अनादृत युष्मत् अंग्रयः. O Lord, The intelligence of those who think themselves liberated, but who have no devotion, is impure. Even though they rise to the highest point of liberation by dint of severe penances and austerities, they are sure to fall down again into material existence, for they do not take shelter at your lotus feet. Evidence of the same points is given in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, wherein the Lord says, Avajananti mudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. When rascals, mudas, see that Krishna acts exactly like a human being, they deride the transcendental form of the Lord because they do not know the Parambhavam, his transcendental form and activities. Such persons are further described in Bhagavad Gita 9.12 as follows: Moghasha mogakarmano moghajnana vichetasah rakshishim asurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha. Those who are thus bewildered or attracted by demoniac and atheistic views, in that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Such persons do not know that Krishna's body is not material. There is no distinction between Krishna's body and his soul, but because less intelligent men see Krishna as a human being, they deride him. They cannot imagine how a person like Krishna could be the origin of everything. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Such persons are described as Mogashaha, baffled in their hopes. Whatever they desire for the future will be baffled. Even if they apparently engage in devotional service, they are described as Mogashaha because they ultimately desire to merge into the Brahman effulgence. Those who aspire to be elevated to the heavenly planets by devotional service will also be frustrated because this is not the result of devotional service. However, they are also given a chance to engage in devotional service and be purified, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17. Shanaratam swagataha krishnaha punya shravana kirtanaha kridiyantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti sukurat satam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Unless the dirt within the core of one's heart is cleansed away, one cannot become a pure devotee. Therefore, the word Sudurlabha, very rarely found, is used in this verse. Not only among hundreds and thousands, but among millions of perfectly liberated souls, a pure devotee is hardly ever found. Therefore, the words Kotishwapi are used herein. Srila Madhvacharya given the following quotations from the Tantra Bhagavata. Navakotyastu devanam rishayah saptakotayah Narayanayaha sarve niyake chittat parayanaha. There are 90 million demigods and 70 million sages who are all called Narayanayana, devotees of Lord Narayana. Among them only a few are called Narayana Parayana. Narayana, Narayanayana, Deva, Rishi Adhyas Tatparayanaha Brahmadhyaha Kechanaiva Syuhu Siddho Yogyas Sukham Labhan. The difference between the Siddhas and Narayana Parayanas is that direct devotees are called Narayana Parayana, whereas those who perform various types of mystic yoga are called Siddhas. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namani. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare. Conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami. And in the context here, there is description of Vritrasura, his birth, and how the demigods went to the Lord and asked for help. And the Lord told him that he can give them many other things like pure devotion. But the demigods were immediately concerned about Vritrasura and about their positions, endangered. So he gave them a plan to go and make a weapon that will kill Vritrasura using the bones of the sage called Dadichi. And he said that you have to go and request him to give the bones, which means he will die. So the demigods went to Dadichi and they have secured the bones and they made the Vajra weapon. And then there was this battle between Indra and Vritrasura, or the demigods and Vritrasura. And amazing things happened there. So Parikshit Maharaj has got a very deep question. So that will be interesting to know that question, because he's a very sharp person. Many times he asks these sharp questions and Shukadeva Goswami becomes very happy because he knows this person is hearing very keen. He is not slept for 7 days, not eaten for 7 days, but he is hearing very keenly. And he takes extra enthusiasm to speak for the sake of Parikshit and his wonderful questions. So, he is asking the question. King Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O learned Brahmanas, demons are generally sinful, being obsessed with the modes of passion and ignorance. How then could Vritrasura have attained such exalted love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana? Demigods situated in the mode of goodness and great saints cleansed of the dirt of material enjoyment hardly ever render pure devotional service at the lotus feet of Mukunda. Therefore, how could Vritrasura have become such a great devotee? In this material world, there are as many living entities as atoms. Among these living entities, very few are human beings. And among them, very few are interested in following religious principles. So all the questions. Text 4. O best of the Brahmana, Shukadeva Goswami, out of many persons who follow religious principles, only a few desire liberation from the material world. Among many thousands who desire liberation, one may actually achieve liberation, giving up material attachment to society, friendship, love, country, home, wife and children. And among many thousands of such liberated persons, one who can understand the true meaning of liberation is very rare. Then we read today's shloka, Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana. The translation again is, O great sage, among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one may be a devotee of Lord Narayana or Krishna. Such devotees who are fully peaceful are extremely rare. So, I think we are feeling happy about the shloka. Why? Because devotees are very rare. I am trying to be a devotee and it's so difficult to be a devotee. No wonder, look at this, Kotishwapi Mahamuni. Out of millions and trillions of people, only one person become devotee. Thank God. No wonder I am not able to become a devotee. It's not something bad. It's good. See, I have a lot of friends who are not devotees, who are trying to be devotees. It's only some freaky one in a million trillion guys like Vritrasura make it to be devotees. And he's a very special case, Asura a devotee, you know. So obviously it's very, very difficult to be a devotee. But what am I doing here trying to be a devotee full time? There'll be many questions if you read this in a different way. So the question is about Vritrasura. And Parikshit Maharaj knows that being a devotee is not so easy. Why? Because mostly people don't have an inclination to be a devotee. Most people have an inclination for being God, for enjoying. That's why they have come here. Inside this place, who is going to be a devotee? Very rare. Very rare. In other words, inside a jail, a lot of criminals are there. Actually, criminals. And their mentality is one type. That's why they're kept away from society and put in a jail. Isolated, ostracized, put inside a jail. Amongst the jail members, very few people really want to reform and become very good citizens, following the government law and doing everything. Very few people. You can count them, right? And most of them are not even interested in getting out of the jail. Why? They're getting good food. They're getting looked after. You have to do a little work. That's all. That may be many reasons, but they don't even think of getting out because many of them are lifetime prisoners. There are all sorts of combinations inside. So very few people are thinking of getting out of the jail, and those who try to escape the short way from the jail without following the natural process, they are killed also in all these big places. So there's a natural process to get out of the jail. To be a very good jailer for 50 years, they may think of releasing you when you're 80 years old. There is a process like that. So that is called following the Varnashrama and gradually making it. So there's a lot of parallel between a prison house and the thing that we live in. It says here that mostly living entities in this world have come here for a different purpose. Out of them, a small fraction are human beings. And out of the human beings, very few people will follow religious principles, actually be religious. And out of those who are religious, most of them are stuck with religion and busy with the rituals and busy with sense gratification coming out of a result of religious principle. And there's a whole lot of them doing it. Nobody even thinks of liberation in that group. And there are very few people who do though. And even if they do, out of thousands and thousands of such people who think of liberation, hardly even one can know really what is real liberation. Sudurlabha prashantatma kotishwapi mahamuni. This is being mentioned by Parikshit Maharaj to Shukadev Goswami. It's part of his question. So how did Vritrasura become that 1 in trillion people? He's Asura. Good question, huh? Yes or no? Good question. I'm listening to you very carefully, so I got to know what's happening. So, being a devotee is not common. Pure devotional service is Sudurlabha. That is already mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion also. Very rarely will you get opportunity for rendering pure devotional service, which is exactly what the Bhagavatam is pointing at, which is exactly what the Bhagavad Gita is pointing at. But most people don't get it. They'll take the Bhagavad Gita and religiously interpret it about religion. They'll take the Bhagavad Gita and speak about some other material, vision and ideology. which is not the main thing mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. The main thing mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita is Man mana bhava mad bhaktah madhyaji mam namaskuru sarva dharman parityajya mahamekam sharanam vraja. These are the main things mentioned. This is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. But most people don't get that. And it is not surprising. Because that is not what they want. That's not what they want. So in other words, you will get from the scriptures what you want. That's why the scripture is called Kalpataru, Kalpavriksha. You can get from the scripture whatever you want. Accordingly, you can do that particular ritual, that particular worship of the demigod, that homa, yajna, austerity, and you can get that. You can get that. Who is the person who on his own voluntarily is going to ask for pure devotion to the Lord? No. They have to be taught to ask by giving knowledge. Then they may. Then they may. Otherwise, mostly people are very busy in sense gratification. Very busy. So, it takes a pure devotee to enter this domain. Very strong. And preach pure devotional service. And then get people to hear it. And wake up. And then give them that. Bhagavad Dharma. It's only a pure devotee's domain to do that. To make a penetrating influence on conditioned souls who will very stubborn about sense gratification. Very, very Dridhavrata. Prahlad Maharaj calls them Dridhavrata. Focused on sense gratification. That is the goal and purpose of existence and life. And they are interested in that only. To such people, if you have to go and tell them, listen, you are doing nonsense. You should become a devotee of Krishna. It's not an easy thing to do. Mostly they'll get very angry with you. Mostly they will even kill you, destroy you for spoiling their setup. Especially religious people, they'll finish you. Even the other atheistic people will not be so bad with you. But the religious people will go behind you and get you. They'll crucify you on the cross. They did this to Jesus Christ. And they were happy. You deserve it. Why? You preached pure devotion. How dare you do that and spoil our position in religious society? The Brahmins did that. The Jews did that to Christ. It's happening all the time, everywhere in different degrees. Whoever talks the facts, the truth, he will be crucified by those people who profess to know religion. It's very amazing. When Lord Chaitanya introduced the Harinam Sankirtan, and they were doing in closed doors, knowing fully well what type of people they are, the Brahmins went and complained to the Muslims king. It's the Brahmins who went and complained and told that this man is spoiling our whole religion. He's openly chanting the mantra in the street everywhere. Something wrong with him. If you don't stop him, we'll give you trouble. They used their social position and turned the handle on the Chand Qazi and on the Muslim king and told, do something about him. And he was wondering, it's your own man, your own religion. Why don't you sort it out yourself? They were wondering, what are these type of people coming and complaining to us? We are busy trying to convert the Hindus. And the Hindus are coming complaining to us, do something about our Hindu who is actually becoming. You understand the social situation. Social situation is, these are Muslims, invaders from outside, colonizing and ruling us. And to them you go and complain about your own religious problem with this fellow. They will take advantage of it. They'll take advantage of it. That's what they did. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reacted to that by using, Prabhupada calls it the first civil disobedience movement. He took a huge Harinam procession and went to meet the Chandkasi. Right? So it's always these people who create the deadliest problems. Within the religious group will be the greatest enemies of religion. So real religion has got religion as its enemy. It's very interesting. Real religion has got religion as its enemy. It's interesting. Einstein is known to have said, the only thing that stands between me and my learning is my education. The so-called education I had, that is standing in between me and my real learning. You must understand this. Real religion is seen in a different way in this world. Nobody will allow real religion to be propagated. Only false religion can be propagated. That is why there's a particular shloka in the Bhagavatam that says, what is that shloka? Kaitava Dharma. Giving you a hint. Chant. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tatpatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va Pareirishwara Sadyo Hridyavarudyate Atra Kritibihi Sushushubhis Takshanat. Why does the Bhagavatam say right in the beginning? Kaitava Dharma. Dharma Projita Kaitavo Atra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. It says giving up this Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion. Religion that does not Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiki. Religion which does not introduce to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and love of God and His amazing relationship that He has with you is cheating religion. They are not giving you the real stuff. They are not telling you the real stuff. That's why it's cheating religion. They may look very religious, they may look very pious, they may look very sattvic. Good people they are. It is the good people who are the greatest enemies of the best people. In management also they will tell you, good is the enemy of the best. It's the good people who are the biggest enemies of the best people. This is what the Bhagavatam is saying. The Bhagavatam is making it very clear, these fellows who are very good, no, they are the most dangerous people for the best people. Means for pure devotion, this is the most dangerous. That is why this Bhagavatam is very interesting, because right now you have Indra fighting Vritrasura on the battlefield. He has got the weapon, everything ready. My position is lost. All my people are this thing. I have to fight you, and that's all is in his head. I am a religious man. I do austerity, penance, everything. I worship Vishnu, and he has granted me this material opulence of a Vajra. I'll kill you, and I'll become the king. I will rule. This is Indra's domain. This is religion. Against Vritrasura, who is even a demon externally. Externally, Indra is king of heaven. The most religious person, religious head, materialistic religion. And he has within the domain of that argued and got help from Vishnu. Although Vishnu wants to actually help you in a different way, I want to introduce to you real religion. He said, no, first this, clear way, Vritrasura way. So he is stuck in religion. This is the meaning of Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all forms of religion and surrender to me. So he is not able to do that. He is crusading on behalf of all the religious people who are die-hard materialistic people, but they worship Vishnu. He is a devotee of Vishnu also. Mix. That's why this conversation very interesting. Vritrasura is a demon externally, but internally he is a pure devotee of Krishna. It's an amazing combination. So that is what is the question here. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana hai. Sudurlabha prasantatma kotishwapi mahamuni. How is it possible that Vritrasura became a devotee? It shows that you may be a devotee and externally you may be an asura. So much devotion can rest inside an asura. It is so independent. Bhakti is standalone. It can even reside inside an asura without getting affected by the asura in any way. It's amazing, no? Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. Bhakti produces bhakti. Bhakti produces bhakti. Not that karma produces bhakti, jnana produces bhakti, yoga produces bhakti. It's only bhakti that produces bhakti. From bhakti comes bhakti. So now you understand the process given to us by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Directly chant Hare Krishna, render service to Krishna, read the Bhagavad, read the Bhagavad Gita. Don't have to do all those things. Don't have to go and worship the demigods. Don't have to do Homa, Yajna, Tapasya. Don't even have to follow some of the strict Varnashrama rules in Kali Yuga. Simply by chanting the holy name and developing your devotion, the topmost benefits you will get. You don't even have to look at it. This is our process. What Parikshit Maharaj has understood, what Shukadeva Goswami is saying, which is very rare, Koti Shopi Mahamune, that is the process we are following. Pure devotion, Bhagavad Dharma, Sudurlabha, Prashantatma, that process which is very rare, that is being given to us. Now, somebody will say, that may be given to me, but I'm not able to appreciate it like that. That is why these books are given, and Prabhupada is explaining what you have got in your hand. It's a jewel of jewels. The chanting of the holy name, the Bhagavat, and the association of devotees. Keep at it. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's very valuable. Because why? Millions and trillions of people, out of them hardly one will become a devotee. Prabhupada makes it clear. Don't think because you want to become a devotee, you are a devotee already. He's saying that one may want to be liberated, that doesn't mean he is liberated. That doesn't mean he is liberated. That's a mistake that we may make. That I am practicing devotional service, therefore I am a pure devotee. No, it happens over a period of time. But definitely it will happen if you continue to do practice. So, the process of devotional service itself is very rare. And we have been given that particular opportunity by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, coming in the line of Lord Chaitanya or all the great acharyas. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has done this amazing preaching work, taking it all over the world and giving it to people, because it's very important that people should know this. So by his effort, you know what he has done? He has made it available to everybody and made it commonly available. It is not actually available so easily. He has made it very easily available. Most even religious people don't do it. Indra knows about pure devotional service, but he is not able to do it. It's another class of people. So we will also find ourselves in such situations. I know I read the Bhagavatam, I read the Bhagavad Gita, I chant Hare Krishna, but I am not able to surrender. But I am not able to experience pure devotion. I know it's very close by, but I am not doing it. Many of them know it. By choice, I am trying to be more religious. All varieties you will find within, because we are all sadhakas. The process is pure devotional service. But it is not that, immediately you should think that I am a pure devotee. It takes a little time, but you can see it happening also very fast. You can feel the changes happening, which wouldn't have happened even if you have practiced for thousands of janmas, karma and jnana in yoga. But that's happening in a jiffy. Very fast the changes are occurring. It doesn't normally happen so easily for people. Millions of janmas they are as jnanis. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyante. After many millions of lifetimes, a jnani, repeatedly after being in knowledge fully and understanding what is Brahman, considering everything, he may understand me. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyante. He will understand me and surrender to me. Vasudevam sarvamiti. Such a person, Samahatma Sudurlabha. Krishna is also telling, such a person is very rare. But that rare thing, many people are doing all over the world by the mercy of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. When I read this shloka, I understand what Prabhupada has done. How he has told everybody the essence and told just focus on the essence. Don't have to worry about other things. And he has given it. It's unfortunate that somebody looks at Krishna consciousness in a religious mode. It's unfortunate that somebody looks at Krishna consciousness in a gyan, knowledgeable mode only. It's unfortunate that somebody sees it as karma. On the level of karma, if I do chanting, I will progress in my material life. Same viewpoints they have towards chanting. And many times we preach like that also to people. You chant, everything will become all right. Your financial problem will become all right. Your house problem will become all right. Your marriage problem will become all right. Simply you chant, which is true. It is also true. But that is not the only thing. It's a very small byproduct. But to look at the whole chanting of the holy name and what it can give you in terms of religion and karma and what I will get out of it is a very narrow viewpoint on the holy name. Same way, to look at Krishna consciousness to be just another religion, it's not true. We are not just following Hinduism. We are following the essence of the Vedic scripture, which is what Hinduism should lead you to. So we are doing exactly what Vritrasura did on the battlefield. We are doing what Parikshit Maharaj did for 7 days and understood before he left his body. We are doing what Shukadeva Goswami is saying. We are directly introduced to that process. Not karma, not gyan. So we know most of Hinduism today, if you take, it's a very ugly mix of all these things. Karma, gyan, yoga, all sorts of things, atheistic stuff, everything. Remains stuck. Nobody is clearly given an understanding except Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in modern times as to what is religion and what you should be doing. What you should be doing. So it is mentioned here, they may all be Narayana devotees, but they may not be Narayana Parayana. Do you make the statement? You may be worshipping Narayana, but you may not be a servant of Narayana. That's a very subtle point. So many people worship Vishnu for the sake of material reasons. The demigods are worshipping Vishnu for that only. Please save us from Vritrasura. And Lord Vishnu is telling, actually I can do more things for you than just saving you from Vritrasura. Don't use me only for Vritrasura. Although I am meant for that, but I can give you more. They don't take it. You see in the conversation of the demigods and the Lord, they don't get it. They say, yeah, we know about it, like type of thing. But right now solve this problem. So it's very interesting that Vritrasura is on the battlefield upholding pure devotion. And Indra becomes very demoralized hearing Vritrasura talk about pure devotion. It's a very interesting conversation for people who can understand what's going on. Vritrasura is saying, go ahead, kill me. I know I'm going to die from your weapon. You have gone to the Dadichi, made the thing and all that. The Supreme Personality of Godhead told you to do it. And Dadichi offered his body and you made the thing, everything. Go, kill me. Go ahead. I am waiting to die. Why? Because I'm going back to Godhead after this. I am going back to God and you are the instrument for that. So for you in your level you have had victory. The demigods have defeated the Asura. And you're going to get name, fame, everything. You can dance with Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka and drink Somarasa. This is what you want. And you're going to get it. What you want is you're going to get. Because religion works. You have done everything correct. But you know what's going to happen to me after dying? Although I have lost materially, I'm an Asura. I am going back to Godhead. I am actually the most successful person. I am actually the most successful. Krishna is taking me back. You can enjoy profit, you can enjoy victory, you can enjoy sense gratification. But I am going back to Godhead. Hearing this, Indra felt, what am I doing? What am I doing? And he found it very difficult to lift the Vajra and cast it at him. And he'll say, go ahead, lift it. Take it. It'll slip from his hand. He'll say, no, I'll not fight with you unless you take it. The way Vritrasura treats Indra on the battlefield, very sophisticated way. Like he knows everything. And he stands on that platform of realization, although he is Asura, and fights Indra's ignorance, his attachment and everything. The best Upadesh Indra ever got is on the battlefield with Vritrasura. It really affected him deeply. But then he mechanically went about doing his things because it has to be done, and that's how we are, asked for these things. So devotion stands out. And that is what we have been given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Priceless. Priceless. Why? Because it can buy Krishna. You can achieve Krishna. It is not Gyan, it is not karma, it is not ordinary religion. Krishna will become attentive to you and he'll start focusing on you. As you are a sadhaka, you started performing devotional service, Krishna started paying attention to everybody who's chanting Hare Krishna, who's worshipping him, because of the directions of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Nobody gets attention like that so easily. This is amazing. Vritrasura on the battlefield had full attention of Krishna with him. It's not that he was not supporting Indra. He was giving Indra what he asked for. But he was giving Vritrasura what he did not ask for. Because he felt, I should do this for Vritrasura. Of course, Vritrasura also prays on the battlefield. My Lord, I don't know anybody else but you. I like to come to your shelter and serve you. That's all I want. It was beautiful prayers on the battlefield. The whole world has titled him an Asura. And everybody in the world is attacking him. And the topmost cream of everybody, the Devas, they have pitted against him. And they are killing him. And Vritrasura is strong, standing his ground, performing his outside role materially as a Asura, but remaining very committed inside in devotional service. So that is why he is asking this question. Who is this person, Vritrasura? How did he become like this? It's an amazing combination of an Asura and devotion. What is this person? So Shukadeva Goswami said, oh, good you noticed. I am going to explain this to you. I'll tell you who is this person, Vritrasura. And then in the coming chapters, he speaks about Chitraketu, King Chitraketu, and not having any issues. And he getting from Angira Muni a blessing to have a son, then losing his son because his other princesses poisoned that son. And then he lamenting. And then Narada Muni and Indra making arrangement for the sun to come back to life and speak to him the real philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And getting a powerful realization from that. And he renounces everything and becomes a devotee. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, within 7 days, he chanted that mantra given by Narada Muni and saw Krishna. 7 days. He went to Ananta, Sankarshana, and he had darshan of Sankarshan. And then he became the leader of the Vidyadharas. Very opulent material position. And he rendered service from there also. From then he got cursed by Parvati. Something like that. And Parvati cursed him to become a demon. And he became a demon. He's a devotee, but it was a curse of Parvati. So he became a demon. He said, okay, I'll do anything. You want me to be a demon? Okay, you cursed me. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'll become a demon. In this way, he became a demon, but he's a devotee. And then he gets released from that. Krishna is doing everything possible to release him from that situation. And he goes back to Godhead. Goes back to Godhead. So, the value of devotional service, the value of bhakti, as compared to regular religion comprising it, rituals and sacrifices and varnashrama and few among them desiring liberation, mukti and all that. So, Parikshit is talking about how rare it is for a person to be a devotee. Out of all the species of so many living entities in different bodies, very few are human beings. And out of that, nobody is really bothered about liberation. You can see a large amount of them are uncivilized. Some are civilized, they follow religious principles. And out of those civilized religious people, hardly one person will think of liberation, mukti. Mukti means, Prabhupada explains, liberation means perfection. Means I have perfected that I know who I am and I am free from the modes of material nature. Matter doesn't affect me. I become perfect, liberated from material influence. But you may be liberated from material influence, but you won't be a devotee. You can be spiritually elevated and you can still not be safe. You can still not be safe. Ye Arvinda Vimukta Maninas Tvai Ashtabhavad Avishuddha Buddhayah Aruhya Krichrena Patanti Yadaha. That shloka which Prabhupada is quoting. You may be liberated and still be skating on thin ice. Why? Because if you don't get attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, don't become His devotee, your liberation situation will not last for too long. You will again come back. Patanti adaha. You will fall. Why? Because you don't have attachment to put yourself fixed. So, being a devotee is the highest form of liberation. Serving Krishna is only for the liberated people. Nirmatsaranam satam. All these things are mentioned. Right? So, but all these things don't mean that you have all these things instantly with you. Because you became a devotee of Krishna. We are sadhakas. We want to be that devotee of Krishna, which is mentioned in the books. At least theoretically, knowledge-wise, we have understanding of what is devotional service. What is the meaning of real religion? These things we understand. And then we work upon our sadhana and try to internally meditate and bring ourselves to that consciousness in the process of devotional service by rendering service to Krishna. This is a big science. Krishna consciousness is a science. It works through those scientific principles. Prabhupada mentioned that. Right? So we are not simply willy-nilly chanting Hare Krishna. We are not. We have big science behind why we chant, what we are doing. Our devotees should read these books very nicely and understand what we are doing, why we are doing what we are doing, what we want. What we want. It's all very clearly spelled out. Very clearly spelled out. Sometimes devotees don't take the time to actually put these things together. What I've understood. What should I stand for? What's the goal and aim of my life? What's the vision? Should write up based on your realization of Krishna consciousness. And you should check it with others. This is what I'm going to work for. This is what I stand for. These are the principles. Anything that violates these principles, I'll not do. I'll not take part in it. Like this, you must drop. And therefore, you will know why you have to chant Hare Krishna and why you should chant more and more. Why you should read the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and why you would have a paka understanding. These are all the things that we should deliberate on. Deliberation. Very important. Very important. That's why reading the Bhagavatam always is exciting. Because you're opening up that actual understanding of religion. And it touches your heart. From inside you get a confirmation that this is it, correct. This is what I'm looking for. You'll feel Yeyatma Suprasiddhati. The Atma becomes peaceful and happy. I have found it. This is what I've been looking for. I have found it. That satisfaction, happiness, deep inside you will get when you read the Bhagavatam. You'll get that, yes, I have found this. This is what it is. That's why it's important for us to understand these things very nicely. No point in just being religiously religious. We must be religious, no doubt. But we must understand the purpose of religion. So develop love of God, love of Krishna. There's no doubt about it if you read the Bhagavatam. And Vritrasura knows it. Indra knows it. Vritrasura is doing it. Indra wants to do it. There's different levels of devotees. They're both devotees, but there are different levels. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any question or comment? Yeah.
How did Dhritarashtra come to a realization that pure devotional service is the jewel of jewels?
He was already a devotee before he became an asura cursed by Parvati. In other words, the curse did not affect in any way his consciousness. It was completely external. Vritrasura was Chitraketu then. King Chitraketu gave up his whole kingdom, everything, and became a devotee after that incident to do with his son. And he was one of the chief of the Vidyadharas, the great singing groups and dancing groups people. And although he was in that, he was continuing to be a pure devotee. That's around the time that he meets with Shiva. Shiva is very happy to see him, but Parvati gets offended that you are laughing about me sitting on the lap of my husband. You pass some comment, which was in a very good spirit, glorifying Shiva, but she couldn't take it and she cursed him. Lord Shiva immediately said that what is use of cursing devotees? Narayana Parayana Sarve Nakutaschana Bibhyati Swarga Apavarga Narikeshu Apitulyartha Darshinaha. You send them to hell, send them to heaven, send them to any place, Tulyartha. They don't care about it. They will continue to be devotee and practice devotional service wherever you send them. There he was put inside a demon's body. He continued his devotional service. That's what happened. You can read that section from the Bhagavatam. Any other question or comment? Yeah.
Seems to be that he's a pure Vaishnava because he want to be killed and he want to go to the abode. But Indra always it was projected that either he hide himself or even when Prithu Maharaj was doing Agnisho Yaga, 3 times he tried to stolen the horse. So how is either he hide or he do like this? His position how to, because he's also then only become that position. He's a devotee of Lord, then only got that position. But he was always projected like that as if he's like a demons.
Who? Indra?
Indra, his act.
No, he didn't do demoniac act. Demoniac act means act against the instruction of the Supreme Lord, not accepting his supremacy and authority. Asurastat viparyayaha. Against the Vedic injunction, against Krishna's instructions. That is called Asura. But Indra was not Asura because he was not acting against Krishna, against the Supreme Lord Vishnu. But he had a problem with uncontrolled senses or mind. So that is not considered to be Asuric. Of course, if you do only that, then you will become Asuric. Indra is a religious person and is very duty bound, important devata, all that. But he has some weakness that he does. So that is not considered to be demoniac. That's a weakness, and that may lead him to sin. And because of that, he has to atone for that sin and all that. Those type of things can happen.
And he's always bothered about his position.
Yeah, he's always bothered about his position. That's the meaning of material life. If you have materialistic life and materialistic consciousness, you are always bothered about your position. Of course. Even when you die, you want to tell on the graveyard, no, when you put my name, put it like this. On the graveyard, after I die, you should put my title MA, PhD, this thing like that. Don't compromise on that. This is in the will. I'm writing in the will. Imagine the height of a desire for position. So, material world and material consciousness is like that. It sounds very foolish from the Bhagavatam viewpoint. But then while we are doing it, we feel perfectly alright. We feel perfectly legitimate. Yeah, I did my MA and PhD. Yaar, what is wrong in writing my name there? Am I asking for something which I did not do? Then you can tell. But actually, that is not the point. They don't get the point. That's the problem with religious people. They don't get the point. They just continue to be good. Continue to be good people in the eyes of. So, Indra, yeah, true. He's got all sorts of problems. But he's a devotee. Krishna tolerates him, listens to him, and when he says Vritrasura is cursing, I said, okay. Although he has weaknesses, it's not that Krishna rejects him and saying you did this. No. It's known to the Supreme Lord.
So it is always better to be a simple person without any post or so we can do devotion service.
Yeah, because you should also, there are also devotees who know how to handle the post and go back to Godhead.
They are mature.
There's Prithu Maharaj, there is Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. It's not that, therefore you should not have anything. No. That is not the conclusion. Therefore you must be Krishna conscious. Any situation, if you are Krishna conscious, like Vritrasura is in a demon's body, he remains Krishna conscious. The point is to be Krishna conscious. The point is to be genuinely humble. The point is to always feel I am a servant and feelingly render service. Devotees should be humble. Humble does not mean they are foolish. Also. Actually, devotees are the most intelligent people on the planet. You got the point? Yes.
Maharaj, one more thing. You said now that if one is chanting, then no need for sacrifice.
Pardon?
No need to do yajna. One who does Hare Hare, one who chanting the holy name, he doesn't need to do sacrifice. So nowadays we are seeing devotee house itself we are doing yajna. So how to understand?
We are still doing yajna. How to understand?
Initiated, second initiated. So they also doing. So how should I understand this?
No, those are certain types of rituals we need to do. So if a installation of the deities, we can say no, chanting of the holy name is enough. It's supreme mantra. Actually, it's enough. But we are not in that position of such purity that we understand that that is enough. For us now, it is only a cut and paste statement we are making. Shastra says it is enough. But it is not that you have actually realized that that is enough. Therefore, you need to do. To fill this gap, you need to do. That's why Prabhupada called it Daiva Varnashrama. Varnashrama for the sake of achieving love of Krishna. In between. We are not doing the regular caste. I should not use the word caste. The regular other religious Varnashrama. So our yajna, homa and all is tied up with devotional service. Bhakti yoga. It is not just plain homa yajna according to the karma kanda. So we do that. Those rituals are mentioned by Vaishnava acharyas like Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. They have all compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas, Satkriya Sara Deepika, like that. For Vaishnavas, certain rituals and everything to be done with bhakti, completely modulated bhakti. So there it is mostly devotional service because we'll do kirtan along with the yaga and homa. That's why it's very important to do both together. That's why it will be successful, the yajna and the homa.
Maharaj, online question from Alankrita Sudevi Devidasi. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. In this past time, we see Vritrasura was strongly grounded, taking the inspiration from this. How do we try to handle our material responsibilities? At the same time, keeping the spiritually grounded, as it is very difficult to keep up the spiritual pace.
Take your chanting back from there. Yeah. Yes, good practical question. Vritrasura is powerfully Krishna conscious. Whatever his external situation may be, is not allowing it to affect his consciousness. You have rightly noted that you could be in a demoniac suit and maintain your devotion. It's the other extreme. But we are not so in so bad positions like Vritrasura. Our positions are far, far better. But it is just that we pay so much importance and value to so many material small things. And we pay less value to the great spiritual aspect of us, especially Krishna conscious activities that we do. Because of that, we will have some difficulties. And it becomes okay over a period of time. After we are entering service and we have the strength, the spiritual strength gradually to understand this and make changes. It is mentioned that as soon as Chitraketu heard from his son, who came and asked you, what parents? So many janmas, so many parents. Nobody is my parent. Neither are you my parents. When he heard this from his own son, it struck like a thunderbolt. He woke up. Because Narada Muni and this thing are engineering it, standing next, and they immediately gave him the whole understanding. The powerful lessons they were teaching, both of them. In the Bhagavatam, there's a very powerful conversation. And he wakes up at that time. He really wakes up. And he just gives off his kingdom, his queens, his wealth, everything, and becomes a devotee. He took the decision to surrender. I have nothing that belongs to me, and I think it belongs to me, and it's spoiling my entire life, my chances. So why will I hold on to this and spoil my higher chance? Give it up. Cut off all these requirements and be light and free and practice Krishna consciousness. So therefore, we complicate our own lives by our own attachments, our desires. And sometimes it is so subtle that we can't even make out it's happening. It requires a lot of intelligence. Prabhupada is saying here it's a matter of intelligence. To understand real religion is a matter of intelligence. You see that he says that here. It's not easy. If such a person becomes Narayana Parayana, a devotee of Lord Narayana, he is better than a Jivan Mukta, one who is liberated or perfect. This requires higher intelligence. You have to understand. And then to get it also you require intelligence. But Krishna is saying, Dadami Buddhiyogam Tam, I will give it to you. Nothing is happening in our Krishna consciousness without Krishna's direct help. He is involved. As much sincere as you are, to that extent he is also involved. Some of the purports of Prabhupada, beautifully he states this very clearly. Krishna will be with you. When you are struggling, when you are putting up Krishna consciousness and you are fighting material nature, he will be with you. So we have that confidence, and we should read the books and fight in this world of Maya with Krishna consciousness. Everybody is fighting a war. Every devotee especially is fighting an amazing war inside because of his desire to want to serve Krishna. So as long as we don't put off that desire, that fire of Krishna consciousness, even some things happen here and there, it's okay. We should move ahead and we should be consistent and consciously take control of our lives. That's what we should do. That is occurring best when we are in the company of devotees, we are discussing these things and we get inspired. I must do this. Look at the life of Vritrasura, look at the life of Prahlad Maharaj, look at Prabhupada. So you get inspired to do. And this way, we need to inspire each other, practice devotional service and the process that Prabhupada has given us. And Prabhupada said, you will be victorious. You will achieve success. And we have seen that. Putam madbhavam agataha. Bhavo jnana tapasa. Putam madbhavam agataha. Krishna says that in the past many people followed this and achieved success. You also do that. So we should do that and it will happen. Om Tat Sat. Yeah.
While I'm chanting the most, like life is going smoothly materially. So I never give up chanting. I should change this attitude from this to pure love of Krishna. How to tell that? A question from Aravind here.
Simply continue to chant. Simply continue to chant. Increase the quality of your chanting. And gradually this will happen. Don't be doing offensive chanting. Gradually purify your chanting, and then there is no doubt that Krishna will bestow all his mercy. Don't be impatient. This is what you already got in your hands, what you will be doing even after liberation and even after pure devotion. You're already doing it. So remain fixed in that. That will purify you. Om Tat Sat. Jai Ho. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.